There comes a moment on the twin flame path where everything feels unbearably still. You've been through the chaos, the intensity, the magic of meeting, and then the silence. And yet, even in that silence, there's a strange sense of presence. You feel eyes on you, thoughts directed your way. You feel watched. You sense him. Maybe he lingers in your dreams. Maybe you constantly catch yourself thinking about him, only to look up and see a synchronicity. A name, a song, a place that reminds you of him. He's not gone, you know that. But he won't come forward either. He stays in the shadows, watching, feeling, wanting, but refusing to move. This is what many refer to as the divine masculine stalker energy. It's not creepy or obsessive in the way the word stalker might suggest in a worldly sense. This is spiritual watching, energetic awareness. His soul is still tethered to yours, still longing, still searching, but from afar. It's confusing, painful, and often leaves you feeling abandoned, yet haunted, wanted, yet rejected. Let's look at this energy together. Not just to explain why this happens, but to help you find strength and clarity in it. Because though he may be watching in silence, your journey is not frozen. It's still unfolding, and you still have the power to rise, evolve, and prepare for what's to come. When he doesn't reach out, it's easy to think he doesn't care. But with twin flames, feelings run far deeper than words or actions ever reveal. The divine masculine, when he withdraws, isn't always walking away from you. He's often walking into himself. He watches because the bond is undeniable. He senses your energy, feels your highs and lows, and sees your growth. But instead of stepping forward, he pulls back. Why? Because the love you've awakened in him is not casual. It's not something he can ignore or half commit to. It's too pure, too intense, and too real. And that reality demands change. Deep, uncomfortable, soul-rattling change. You see, the masculine energy is often conditioned to be logical, self-sufficient, and in control. But the twin flame connection completely dismantles those illusions. Suddenly, his walls crumble, his shadows rise. His old identity begins to dissolve. And that kind of internal unraveling doesn't happen gracefully. It feels like a collapse. He's not just resisting you. He's resisting what you awaken in him. And so he watches. He checks your social media. He thinks about you at night. He tunes into your energy, hoping to feel close to you without the vulnerability of reaching out. Because to reach out would mean confronting everything he has avoided, his wounds, his fears, his shame, and the unworthiness that tells him you deserve better. The silent watching is his way of staying near while buying time. Time to figure himself out. Time to find courage. Time to make peace with his soul's calling. It isn't fair, and it isn't easy. But it's his way of trying to breathe underwater while his old self drowns. For you, the important part is not to take this silence as rejection. He may not be reaching out, but he's deeply aware of you. You're in his heart, not lost to him, only paused in a chapter that's not yet ready to turn. Even though there's no physical contact, your connection with him is alive, vibrant, electric, and emotionally charged. That's why you feel him. You dream of him. You sometimes catch yourself looking over your shoulder, half expecting to see him standing there. This is not your imagination. It's the bond at work. The twin flame connection is deeply energetic. You are each other's mirrors. When you shift, he feels it. When he thinks of you, you sense it. That invisible thread between you doesn't disappear when one pulls away. If anything, it tightens. It pulses. It communicates in whispers, signs, feelings, and dreams. You may sense a sudden wave of emotion that isn't yours. You may feel drawn to places that seem connected to him. Or you might hear his name everywhere, see angel numbers like 1111 or 222, or feel chills down your spine when you speak of him. These are not coincidences. These are soul signals. They're messages from the connection itself, reminding you that even in separation, your bond is active. When the divine masculine is in stalker energy, he's not always doing it consciously. Sometimes it's his higher self reaching for you, while his human self holds back. His spirit is already aligned with your union. But his ego, his fears, those are the blocks that hold him hostage. So while he doesn't reach out in the 3D, his energy wraps around yours in the 5D. And that's why you feel him so strongly. It's not just love, it's soul memory. It's a pull that defies logic because it was never born of logic to begin with. Understanding this helps you find peace with the presence. Rather than pushing it away or doubting your sanity, embrace it. Allow yourself to receive the love he's still sending, even if he can't deliver it in words. Let his energy remind you that you're not forgotten. You're not alone. You are seen, just from a distance that he doesn't yet know how to cross. The most tormenting part of this phase is asking yourself, if he loves me, why won't he just talk to me? Here's the truth that many overlook. Love doesn't always override fear, especially when the love is spiritual, vast, and life-changing. The divine masculine often carries deep emotional scars. These can come from past relationships, childhood wounds, cultural conditioning, or a life of suppressing emotions in order to survive. He was likely taught to be strong by being silent, to be safe by being distant. When he met you, that entire system was shattered. The connection you share calls him to feel everything. And for someone who has spent a lifetime protecting themselves from pain, that level of vulnerability feels like a threat, not a gift. He doesn't reach out because he's frozen. He may want to. He may write messages he never sends. He may hover over your name late at night. But he's battling a war inside. His ego tells him he'll mess it up. His fear tells him you'll reject him. His shame tells him he's not enough. And instead of facing those voices, he listens to them. But here's something important to understand. This paralysis doesn't mean he has given up on you. It means he hasn't yet learned how to fight for you. That's a difference. The growth he needs to go through must come from within. You can't drag him through it. You can't fix it for him. He has to rise on his own. And often, he doesn't start climbing until the pain of not having you outweighs the fear of reaching out. In this space, your role is not to wait in suffering. It's to focus on your own alignment. The more you come home to yourself, the more he feels the vibration shift. And slowly, that gives him permission to begin his own return. So don't let his silence become your silence. Keep growing. Keep shining. Let your light become the compass that helps him find his own. One of the biggest traps in this phase is feeling stuck. You know he's watching. You feel his energy. You sense the connection is alive, but he won't take that step. And so many divine feminines fall into a quiet despair, unsure of whether to move forward or hold space. The answer lies in choosing yourself every single day. Choosing to trust the bond without putting your life on pause. Choosing to grow, evolve, and shine, even if he isn't by your side. Your journey does not begin or end with his return. It begins with your own awakening. Let his silence be the gateway to your strength. Use this time to dive into your purpose, your passions, and your healing. Explore your creativity, your spirituality, your physical and emotional well-being. Start showing up fully in your own life, not because you're trying to make him notice, but because you deserve it. It's important not to confuse unconditional love with unconditional waiting. You can love him deeply, spiritually, endlessly, and still choose to thrive in his absence. You can hold space without shrinking. You can feel the connection without becoming frozen in time. In fact, the more you rise, the more it stirs something in him. He begins to sense the shift. He sees your glow, and that glow can become the very force that awakens him into action. Not because you manipulated the energy, but because you lived your truth. And truth always calls truth home. This phase, painful, frustrating, and confusing as it is not without purpose. In fact, it holds some of the deepest soul lessons on the twin flame journey. Lessons in surrender, lessons in trust, lessons in allowing love to flow even when it doesn't look the way you imagined. When he's watching but won't reach out, the universe is teaching you how to love without control. It's asking you to hold love in your heart while releasing the need for timelines, validation, or guarantees. It's asking you to find peace in the unknown. To rest in the truth that what is meant for you is already aligned with you. It just needs time, space, and divine orchestration to unfold. This is where your inner wisdom is born. This is where you stop seeking answers outside of yourself and start listening to your soul. The more you align with trust, the less his silence hurts, because it stops being about what he's doing and starts being about who you're becoming in the process. This phase teaches you to trust your intuition, to trust that if you feel him, it's real, to trust that your connection exists beyond words, and most importantly, to trust that love doesn't disappear. It transforms. It stretches you. It refines you. It prepares you. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And though it may not make sense right now, one day it will. One day the pieces will fall into place, and you'll see why this chapter had to happen the way it did. When he's silently watching, the pull can become overwhelming. You might feel obsessive thoughts, emotional waves that don't feel like yours, or a constant magnetic tug toward him. These experiences are real, but they don't have to control you. It's essential during this phase to learn how to stay grounded, how to separate your energy from his so you don't lose yourself in his silence. Your spiritual sensitivity is a beautiful gift, but without grounding, it can become exhausting. You need to learn how to hold space for the connection without being consumed by it. That begins by returning to your body. When the energy feels too much, anchor yourself in the physical. Move, breathe. Walk in nature, journal, dance, do things that bring you back into you. Your energy field is like a garden. When it's too open, weeds can creep in. Doubt, fear, his emotions, the collective pain of separation. But when you care for your inner space with intention, you create boundaries. Not walls, but healthy energetic lines that help you distinguish between what's yours and what's his. Meditation can help. Not to chase answers or spy into his energy, but to return to stillness, to remind yourself of who you are outside of the connection. Because you are whole. You are sovereign. You are not half of a soul. You are a complete being who chose to walk this path of deep spiritual love to remember the divine within you. It's okay to feel him. It's okay to love him. But don't abandon yourself in the process. Let the pull inspire you to rise higher, to go deeper into your own healing, your own joy, your own alignment. You don't have to fight the connection, but you do have to remain rooted in your own light. When you learn to hold your energy strong, his watching won't shake you. You'll feel it, yes, but you'll respond from a place of peace, not desperation. And that shift in you is what ultimately shifts the entire dynamic. One of the hardest things about the twin flame journey, especially during these silent phases, is the illusion that you need to do something to fix it. You wonder if you should reach out. Should you send a sign? Should you wait longer? Should you move on? All of this stems from a deeper yearning to control the outcome. It's human. You love him, you want clarity, you want movement. But the truth is, this part of the path isn't meant to be fixed. It's meant to be felt. It's meant to break you open, not so you stay broken, but so you become more whole. Letting go doesn't mean letting go of the love. It means letting go of the fear around it. The fear that if you don't hold on tightly, it'll disappear. The fear that if you stop focusing on him, he'll forget you. But in spiritual truth, love that is real doesn't fade. And letting go isn't a punishment. It's a portal. When you surrender, you release the need to control his process. You allow him the dignity of his own soul's journey, and you allow yourself the freedom to live, grow, and evolve without needing his actions to validate your worth or your intuition. It's a paradox. The more you try to control the connection, the more blocked it becomes. But the more you trust, the more space you give it to flow in its divine rhythm. So let go. Not of him, not of love, but of the illusion that you need to make anything happen. What's real will always find its way back to you. Sometimes, all it needs is your willingness to stop holding the reins and simply open your heart. This silent phase isn't just a waiting room, it's a training ground. You are being called to reclaim your power, to stop living in limbo, to take back your joy, your passion, your voice, and your future. Your soul didn't come here to only long for someone else. It came to embody love. All of it. Starting with yourself. It's okay to admit you miss him. It's okay to feel the ache. But don't stop living because of it. Don't press pause on your dreams, your growth, or your expansion. You're not waiting for him. You're preparing for you. Use this time to build the life you've always wanted. Nurture your gifts. Take care of your body. Discover new passions. Connect with your soul tribe. You are allowed to be joyful, even if he isn't in your life right now. Your happiness doesn't betray the connection. It honors it. The more you reclaim your power, the more magnetic you become. Not just to him, but to the life your soul truly desires. When you begin living boldly, you shift the frequency of your entire journey. You stop being a passive participant and become the conscious creator of your reality. This doesn't push him away. It inspires him. It sends a silent message through the energy. I love you, but I won't lose myself for you. And that kind of love? That's the kind that calls a soul home. Even though it hurts, this phase isn't a mistake. It's written into your soul contract. Before you ever met him in the physical, your souls agreed to meet, awaken, separate, and mirror each other's growth in ways that human minds can't fully grasp. This phase, the watching, the silence, the longing, is part of that design. Divine timing isn't just about things happening later. It's about things happening right. Right for your soul. Right for his. Right for the union to be built on truth, not on illusion. If he came forward right now without healing, without growth, without transformation, would the connection thrive, or would it collapse under the weight of unspoken wounds? Your higher selves know what's best, even when your hearts ache for something else. Eventually, this phase will shift. Sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once. One day, he may finally reach out, or he may experience a soul breakthrough that brings him fully into his heart. When that moment comes, it won't be because you chased it. It'll be because you became it. Divine union isn't just about two people coming together. It's about two souls who have done the inner work to meet each other fully, authentically, vulnerably, in their truth. And that kind of reunion only happens when both have faced their shadows and reclaimed their light. When he finally comes forward, he won't come as the version who watched from the sidelines. He'll come as the man who became the divine masculine, grounded, open, and ready. And you'll be the divine feminine who didn't wait, but who rose, who transformed her pain into power, who kept loving, not just him, but herself. That's when union becomes possible. That's when love becomes the foundation, not just the fantasy. And whether it happens tomorrow, months from now, or lifetimes later, know that your journey was never about waiting for someone else to awaken. It was always about you becoming awake. And from that place, everything that is meant for you will arrive.